Don't miss any content. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Channel. These are my predictions for the English Premier League season, which is set to kick off this weekend. I'm going to give you my top 6 for the league, the relegation battlers, and the player to look out for this season. My colleagues as well will be doing the same thing right after I'm done. As usual, I am your host, Selassie Fiawe. So, for the top 6 position for the number 1 sports and Premier League champions 2020-2021, I'm going to go for Manchester City. Yeah, I feel Manchester City will get back the title. I don't think Liverpool can retain it. They've not added a lot to their squad, which you would argue that they don't really need to do. They are the champions, but complacency might be setting in for the Reds, and I think Manchester City, Pep Guardiola is not resting on his laurels. It's not relenting, and he would have learned his mistakes from the previous season. I don't think anyone will get as much points difference from the first to second as Liverpool did last time. I think Manchester City will be back in the hunt for the title, and they will secure the 2020-2021 Premier League title. Liverpool will be close second in that respect. I don't think they'll be that far off. A lot of people saying that Liverpool, especially with their inactivity in the transfer market, might miss out on top 4 football. I don't think so. I think Liverpool will be close second, followed by Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea with the acquisitions over the summer, I don't expect them to get the title yet. I think these squad of players will need a little bit of time to gel and play together, and maybe by the time they find their feet in the league, it might be too little too late for them to effect a title challenge. Number 3 spot, I expect that to be an improvement for Frank Lampard. That might not be what the Blues, or that might not be what Chelsea fans would want to see. They want the title with so many amazing players, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz and all that coming in. I think they would want the title, but the number 3 is going to be where Chelsea will finish up. The 4th will go to Manchester United. I think the Red Devils, aside Donny van de Beek, there's not been any other signing. If there'll be a signing before the end of the transfer window, Jadon Sancho, personal terms apparently have been agreed, but it doesn't look like the deal is wrapping up anytime soon. It could be a last minute or a final day transfer, but I think the Red Devils will make it into the top 4 and be part of the final top 4. Number 5 position, I'll give it to Tottenham Hotspur. I think Jose Mourinho, a lot of people, his second season is when he mounts on a title challenge. I don't think this Spurs squad has the strength in depth to be able to mount a title challenge. For it to mount a very good title challenge, you have to have a backup in every single position. If Harry Kane should get injured now, who do Spurs have to replace him? And it's going to be tough for Jose Mourinho unless he can get someone who will fill in the boots of Harry Kane. Look at what happened in 2020 in the Champions League. You'd have thought he would have learned from that and gotten a replacement, but the transfer market hasn't been kind to Spurs. They have got Matt Doherty and also some few players in, but it hasn't been the best of transfers for them. Jose Mourinho will finish in 5th, and Europa League football will be secured. As to whether they can win the Europa League and secure Champions League qualification is another matter altogether. Number 6 will be Arsenal. The Gunners have been toying with Ghanaian player Thomas Partey, romancing with him in the transfer window since the spring. They have gotten some amazing players nonetheless. They got Chelsea's former player in Willian. They also got the Brazilian defender from Lille who has joined them, and it's been great. All those signings have been amazing, but I don't think there'll be enough for Arsenal to enter into the top 4. Mikel Arteta has shown us that he is a manager that knows how to win titles. Should he get into the final, he'll find a way to win it. So those are my top 6 Manchester City title winners: Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United making up the top 4, and Spurs and Arsenal top 6. For the relegation, I think for the relegation it will be really difficult to judge who will be relegated, as the ball has not been kicked yet. But I think these 3 will go down. I think Fulham might be one of the teams that will go down. West Bromwich Albion, in my opinion, will go down again. I'm also going to have to go for Brighton and Hove Albion. Those are the three teams I think will be in and among. I think young player of the season, I'll go for young player of the season, Chelsea's new signing. If he should get into the rhythm of the English Premier League, I have it. I think he'll be the young player to look out for this season. And the of the season, player of the season, once again, I think Kevin De Bruyne will be the one to make that win again. The player of the season will be Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City. So this are my predictions for the 2020-2021 season. I'll leave it to the rest of my colleagues to finish up with their predictions.
So I'm predicting an exciting season all round. I think for the top four, I am in no particular order. I think Liverpool, City, United, and Chelsea will still be the top four at the end of the season. I'm looking at Fulham, West Bromwich Albion, Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Newcastle in a serious relegation battle. I like the signing of Wilson for Newcastle, but I still think they lack a bit more going forward. And the signings they made, even though they've got Wilson, which I think is a very good signing, Ryan Fraser and I think one other sign that they made don't seem like anything that are going to push them over the top. Hopefully, some teams will probably be far worse than they are to keep them in. But all in all, it's going to be an exciting season, and I hope you are all geared up for it, as I am extremely excited to see how the season starts. I'll be sitting down in front of my TV and watching every game and every ball as it goes in. This weekend is the Premier League.
Hi guys, good day. I'm Kweku Safo Mensah, and I'm here to give you my thoughts and a preview of the upcoming 2021 English Premier League season. And thank you so much, Sahara Football, for having me. First of all, what I think is, I believe this season will be a very tough season, the toughest one probably in the last few years. I don't think we'd have a runaway league champion like we've had in the last 3 seasons, where one team would set itself apart, or two teams would set themselves apart and have 90 plus points, and then the rest would have 80s and 70s and worst case scenario 60s like we did last year. I believe this season will be a very tough one. More so because I feel teams have closed up the gap to the top being Liverpool and Manchester City, as it's been in recent years. I think they've closed up the gap. Teams have made shrewd signings. Managers are focused on winning. You hear Frank Lampard and he tells you he's not here to promote youth, he's here to win. That's all that he wants to do. A manager like Jurgen Klopp, who obviously has done amazingly well in the last 2 to 3 seasons. Pep Guardiola will be in there with a fight to reclaim his trophy. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's looking to reset and reboot the culture at Man United and bring players who have the DNA of the club back into the team. I believe it's going to be a very tough season, the toughest probably that we've had, in recent times. You look at even the newly promoted sides, Leeds United, for example, they have a seasoned, well-experienced manager in Marcelo Bielsa on the bench. And if you look at the investments that they've made into the team, the quality players that they've bought into the team, and even the existing qualities that they even had already, and the loan deals that they are trying to make, Rodrigo coming into the team, etc., you realize they are not here just to play the season for just 1 year, the Premier League for just 1 year and go back. They are here to stay. And so I believe it's going to be a very tough season. Also looking at the fixture list due to the effect of the coronavirus, the pandemic, and you realize teams will be playing week in, week out, 2 days in between games, etc. So it would really be a season where the team with enough quality and enough squad depth and also quality manager, that would make a difference this season. I see the winner getting between 93 to 89 points. I don't think the winner would get 95 plus points as we've had. I feel it would go down to the wire. Last 2 games would settle who the champion is. I think the season would have about 8 to 9 teams who would fight for the top 6 places in the league. unlike in the last 2 years where we've had traditional top 4 teams. I think we'd have about 8 to 9 teams fighting for the top 6 European spots in the team. I believe Man City are still favourites to win the league. I also believe second place would be taken by Chelsea. I think Man City will be too strong for them, and mostly because of the cohesion and the tightness, the closeness of the group. They've kept the same crop of players for the last 3 seasons, and so that would augur well for them. Chelsea have just built their team, or they are still building their team. They are still constructing, so it will take time. But I still expect them to have 80 plus points and nothing else. Third position, I think Liverpool. Liverpool, I don't think they can defend the title just because I believe they've not refreshed their squad yet, and they've kept the same players, for the last 2 to 3 seasons. I sense burnout in the team. I've watched them a couple of times in the off season, and I don't see them as sharp as they've been in the last 2 to 3 seasons. So I believe burnout and a lack of freshness in the team would affect them, and so I think they would place third. That's just my prediction, though. Fourth would be a dark horse. I see Tottenham Hotspur entering the top 4. Of course, they have Jose Mourinho. He can pull up a surprise anytime, and anything can happen. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Manchester United, I don't think 66 points will be enough this season, realistically. And I am struggling to see the consistency that he can churn out of Martial and Rashford. And I don't think they are going to be in the top 4. I think they can make the top 6. But you can look at a team like Everton with Carlo Ancelotti on the bench and the signings that he's made. I think he's one striker, like a prolific number 9 away from, causing real havoc. And even without that, I think they will be, a team to watch out for. Of course, Wolves will be there with a shout. The usual suspects. Wolves, they would always be there. Arsenal, I believe Arteta is doing something. He's doing something worthy of note, and I think they would be in there as well. The dark horse could even be Arsenal and not even Tottenham Hotspur, and so I believe it's going to be a very tough season. Relegation, I'm not convinced about West Ham United. I am not convinced about West Bromwich Albion. I think they could go, and Aston Villa, I'm not so convinced about them either. So these are my 3 teams I'm predicting. Thank you so much. And so on the issue of relegation, I think West Ham haven't done so well in the off-season, and they are likely to lose Declan Rice, who has played every minute of each of the last 2 seasons, or 3, I think. And so he's an integral part of the squad, and they stand a chance of losing him. I honestly don't see the investments, and I don't think they've done enough in the off-season. We were poor last season. David Moyes came in and found a way to rescue them from relegation. I don't think they've done enough. Aston Villa as well. So Aston Villa, West Bromwich Albion, and West Ham United.